I'm Jennifer Beckwith with the Killian Forum News Update. As most Killian students, teachers, and parents are aware of, there has been an ongoing boundary dispute taking place since last year. I'm here with Mr. McCullough, who is going to inform us about the proposal that has been passed through the ABC. Mr. McCullough?
Yes, ma'am.
If you could state what's been proposed and where it's going to now?
Well, the Attendance Boundary Committee has accepted the proposal that was compromised on last Thursday, which will move the Killian's boundaries on the west end of the area. That is that area which is west of the Turnpike and south of the Florida East Coast Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
All of those children who are currently in the 9th grade who would be incoming students will be attending Southridge. In addition to that, all the students who would be incoming from that area, which is south of 168th Street, will be going to Southridge.
Okay, the students going to school here right now, say 10th grade, will they be affected any? Will they have to leave Killian?
All the present 10th and 11th graders at Killian from these particular areas will be grandfathered in as far as school is concerned. They will be allowed to continue at Killian, or they can choose to go to Southridge if they wish.
Every change Mr. McCullough has spoken of has been through several stages, aren't its final ones. How a proposal is made into a decision is a long process with lots of hills to climb. It begins as a compromise of ideas to solve a problem, this one being a boundary dispute. It is then decided on by the people of the community. This proposal is then sent to the Attendance Boundary Committee, who compares it to the proposals of other communities. The decision of the Attendance Boundary Committee is reviewed by the Biracial Tri-Ethnic Committee to make sure there are no conflicts of racial interests. This proposal, once passed, is given to the Superintendent of Dade County Public Schools, who in turn reviews it with the school board. If the school board agrees with the contents of the proposal, a public hearing is set up, and the selected proposals are decided on. The public hearing for the boundary changes is planned for sometime this March. And now, on a different note, Killian's musical production this year is the Broadway musical Grease. It is sponsored by the Drama Department. In the leading roles are Renee Thibault as Danny Zuko and Michelle DeStefano as Sandy in this musical about a mixed-up high school romance. I spoke with Mr. Paul Avery, Killian's drama teacher and the director of Grease. He stated that this year's production will be a smash hit because of the dynamic cast and the professionalism of the whole cast and technical crew. Mr. Avery says he chose this musical because of its close correlation with the new punk dress and way of thought close to that of the 50s. The free expression of the students and the exciting dance routines will provide for a good time had by all, both audience and cast. Those assisting in the other areas of the musical will be Killian's own Mr. Matthews, who is the chorus teacher. Mr. Matthews will direct all of the songs for the musical, and Mr. Dewhurst, the Marching Cougar Band director, who will lead the jazz band in performing the musical score for Grease. Mr. Avery's student assistants will be Assistant Director Liza Roldan and Stage Manager Min Tam Chu. The musical Grease will be performed for the public on May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Curtain call will be at 8 p.m. in the Little Theater. If you are a male and a student at Killian and are interested in being the cast, please contact Mr. Avery during the day. In the meantime, we will look forward to seeing the musical in May. This has been Jennifer Beckwith with the Killian Forum News Update. And now, Matt Wilson for the KETV Sports News Update.
The underrated Cougars basketball team has been proving people wrong as they enter GMAC in districts with a record of 19-5. We had a chance to talk to the head basketball coach, Bob Kaufman, on his views of the team and their recent trip to Kentucky. Now we turn to correspondent Glenn Wyant with this interview.
And we all know you just came back from a trip to Kentucky. How do you feel that trip went?
If you ask the people that were on the trip, they had a great time. I don't think they got any rest at all except during the games. That was the only time I think we were rested. We transported 34 people to Kentucky and back. We had to transport 34 people when we were up there. We had to get rooms and food for 34 people, and everything went very smoothly, and it's quite an experience. We had snow the entire time, and most of the people that we took up had never seen snow before. Most of them had even flown a plane before. So they've got quite an education. They met a lot of friends. We've already had a couple people talk about going back up during spring break to visit the people they met up there. I'm sure there's been a lot of phone calls back and forth since we've got home, and it's just, you know, it's an education to when you travel, and we got to visit schools up there and attend classes with their students at both places. And again, they've met a lot of new friends, and the people up there treat us like royalty. We every time we go anywhere, they give us security guards from the hotel. We have a limo, which everybody runs for to see how many can pile in the limo, and then we also have a van and a station wagon.
Coach Kaufman, how do you think the team will do once you get into the district playoffs?
And Glenn, we have a chance to win it. We always have a chance to win it. We've done it the last 2 years and 4 of the last 6. But we have to play a little better than we're playing now, and the big rival is going to be Gables. And so far, you know, we played them once and they've whipped us once. So I can give you a much better answer about a week from now after we've played Gables the second time. But I'm sure everybody will be fired up to play Killian like they always are. So we can't take anything for granted, because some of the teams that usually don't play well against other teams rise to the occasion against us. So we just can't let down. But Gables is definitely our toughest opponent.
In other sports, the Killian baseball team starts its season off on February the 11th in a tournament at 7:30 under the lights at Melander Field. In girls soccer, the team advanced to districts but lost a tough match to Coral Gables in the second round. Due to an unexperienced squad, the wrestling team did not fare too well throughout the season, but Killian's coach Davis says he has hope for the future, as many wrestlers are returning next year.
The kids go out there with a great deal of intensity. They do a fine job for the first period, the second period, and by the time the third period rolls around, they're going against kids who are 2 years older, 2 years more physical, 2 years more mature, and it catches up to them. And this is where it hurts. It's certainly not the desire. It's just that the fact these kids are older and have been around a lot longer.
Okay. Despite the inexperience on the team, how would you evaluate the team's effort through the regular season?
This has probably been one of my most enjoyable years. I have really enjoyed working with these kids. They've never quit. They've never given up in any way, shape, or form. They're constantly working hard in practices. They're constantly working hard in matches. I've enjoyed them.
Okay.
The Cougar softball season is starting this month on the 13th against Jackson at Moore Park. And also on February the 26th, the boys and girls track and field team will be off and running in their first meet against Coral Park. In boys soccer, the Cougars advanced to districts with a record of 11-4-1. The first game in district playoffs is against the Eagles of Southwest. Time and place is still to be decided. In future segments, Glenn Kreis and Neil Tumarkin will be bringing you segments on golf, tennis, soccer, and water polo. Until then, I'm Matt Wilson for KETV Sports.
Thank you for watching this edition of the Killian Forum. Tune into our next edition when we'll take a look at cruising from Dodge Island here in Miami, and we'll take a special look at the Miami Lonebrow Grand Prix. This has been David Brinklow. Thank you for watching.
The production crew for this edition of the Killian Forum has been David Brinklow, host, with news director Jennifer Beckwith, sports director Matt Wilson, director Lane Smith, audio technician Glenn Wyant, pre-production Betsy Van Cura. The producer is Doc Guerin, and technical advisor Sid Revels. This has been a presentation of the Miami Killian Educational Television Network.
Conductor told like it says you're wasting your time.